Hello everyone, welcome to the Flight Sim Deck. I am back from Cosford, England. Had a great trip and I just wanted to share some of the cell phone footage I got of my travels. Now this is San Francisco. I got dropped off down at that airport and there was actually an air show going on. San Francisco's Fleet Week was going on, so I got to watch some fighter jets cruise around the city. That was very cool. And this is on the approach up to the airport, heading over to the departure side of everything. I hadn't been to San Francisco International Airport in probably about 6 years, or actually longer than that, about 8 years. So yeah, it was nice to be back over there. It's a very nice airport. I stood at this window for a really long time. I was waiting for security to come and tackle me because of my odd obsession with the airplanes and the traffic there. I just stood there for a while and watched everything. I had to get footage of this 747 pushing back, and from this point of view, you had a great view of the aircraft taking off and stuff. Got to see a KLM 747 take off. It was really cool to see all that. And then I saw my flight coming in. This Thomas Cook flight just came in from Manchester, and this is the flight I was on, so I went over there to get some footage of it moving into the gate. Thomas Cook is a great airline. It's the first time I have ever flown it, and great airline. I have no complaints. It was very nice. This is the A330. And a little after 5 p.m., pushing back, actually lost my boarding pass at one point, but luckily somebody tracked me down. They'd heard I was looking for it, so they found me. I was wearing an orange backpack, so I guess I was easy to spot. And luckily they got that back to me. I probably could have got another one, but it was about 20 minutes until we were about to board, so it probably would have been some kind of complication getting one. And I definitely don't want to miss this flight because they don't do this flight every day. And now just approaching the runway for the takeoff. The timing of this flight was pretty good because it almost lined up with when I would be going to sleep. After being on it for a few hours, it's kind of around the time to go to sleep. But yeah, we're just waiting. There was one ahead right here that's taking off. Now the reason I flew out there, Just Flight actually had me out there to record and take some photos of the event. So that was my main reason for going out there, and they made that possible for me to travel out there, and I will forever be grateful of that. Had one of the best experiences of my life, easily up in the top 10 of experiences. For me, it was just fun to get to travel out to Manchester and be around the flight sim community, meeting a lot of the faces that I've seen on YouTube, and then just developers and things like that, to finally put a face to the names and to all that. Was a great time. So this is our departure into the sunset, leaving the city of San Francisco. This was a 10-hour flight, and then a little over 10 hours coming back. Mainly I got to just sleep. We're flying towards the east, so the sun went down pretty soon. And this was cruise sometime after, maybe about an hour after we departed. Right above the clouds, so I wanted to get a nice shot of that. You can kind of see some of the ice on the wings. And sometime 10 hours later, this is about a little before 11 a.m., we are arriving into Manchester. My first time ever being out in Europe, and I gotta come back out soon. It just wasn't there long enough. It was just really mainly strictly business, and I didn't have too much time to explore. Because this flight departs on Sundays, and then it doesn't fly again until Thursday, I believe. So I would have been out there for an extra 4 days if I tried to plan an extra longer trip. But there we are. Touchdown was it was a nice touchdown. And here we're pulling into the gate. At this point, I was excited to get off the airplane, and as anyone would who's been on a plane for about 10 hours. But I was just had a cup of coffee. They served us breakfast, and I was pretty well rested. I got some sufficient sleep. And yeah, I was just happy to be in Manchester. And next I had to head over to the train. It was about a 2.5-hour train ride over to the Royal Air Force Museum, with just 2 stops in between. The train system is very easy to figure out here, especially because they speak English, so that helps. It was a little more difficult when I was in Japan once, they don't, not everyone speaks the English language, and a lot of the signs are not in English, so you have to kind of figure it out. But this system was very straightforward. You just, it just worked out and made total sense. And these are some of the clips I got in the countryside. It's the architecture there I really loved. A lot of it is these older brick buildings, and then you just see a lot of green, a lot of livestock, sheep and cattle out in the fields as they should be, and yeah, it's just really nice. It's like they've pretty much preserved these cities from the way they've been from, I guess, the beginning when these buildings were erected. So it's just nice that to see some buildings like that. Usually it's in a lot of these main cities you see just a lot of modern architecture, and so it was great to do that. But this was the mainly the exploring I got to do of the cities, was looking out the window of the trains. And this is when I finally arrived. I had to walk just half a mile from the train stop to the Air Force Museum. I was finally happy to be there and proud of myself for getting there correctly and pretty much on time. And this is the setup. I showed up there to film a lot of the setup for the film. You'll see this in the main video, which will be out in about a day if I didn't say that already. And yeah, it's just everybody setting up for the following day. Got to meet the TFDI guys. They're real cool, among a few of the developers that I got to meet. And then we're setting up the FS Elite booth here for tomorrow. We had mugs and tickets, and of course we had biscuits, which you'll see later. But yeah, we did a nice little raffle and gave away t-shirts and all kinds of stuff. And then when night fell, Orbex sponsored an open bar event at the hotel, where just all the developers got to go and hang out, talk to each other, share drinks, stories. It was that was a really cool experience to get to do that. And then by morning, I went down, had breakfast with Callum, and then we were on the road to go pick up Jordan and Katie. And I think Tom was getting dropped off that morning. If you are from America and you've never been to England and been in a car where you're riding as passenger where you normally would be driving, it's a really weird experience. Plus, driving on the opposite side of the road. I've never been in a car doing, on the road. I've been to other countries where I've seen this happen, but I've never been in the actual car. So this was a pretty unique experience, and it was also, just great to see some of the city around here. So that was a lot of fun. So I just wanted to share some of this footage with you guys. Originally, I wanted to do all this up with music and stuff, but I thought, nah, I'll just leave that for the main video that I edited, and just kind of do this with some commentary to kind of explain what's going on. I don't really remember what part of England we're in right here, but we're near Cosford. That's all that I really remember. But just I got to get back here and hang out longer, because it's just such a cool city, and to just be there for 2 days is just not enough. And now we're rolling up to the Air Force Museum, as everybody else is. It's I think it was about to be underway in about 20 or 30 minutes at this point. It started at 9. And here we are pulling in to our parking spot. You'll notice the main hangar door is closed today. That was opened yesterday, the day before, for the setup. But yeah, we had finally made it. The day was here. So many aircraft to look at in there. It's really incredible. And this is the FS Elite booth, and of course over here are the biscuits that we were giving out at the table that anybody could grab while they were filling out their raffle ticket. About 1,800 people showed up. It was just really an incredible experience. I got to meet so many of you guys. It was phenomenal to get to meet people. And of course, the FS Elite team, who I've been working with for about a year, finally got to meet everybody. And of course, we had MK Studios on the right. Matt Davies was probably the most surreal to meet because I'd been following him since the beginning. And then, of course, Chewy, I ran into him, and that was also a nice surprise. I didn't expect him to be there. And then it was basically over. It was a long day, very tiring day. Just all day, keeping up different conversations with people running around and filming the different things going on, which you'll see in the video. But this was the next day. Eventually, after the event, I took the train back to the airport, got a hotel over there, and here we are taking off from Manchester. And this was a very nice departure because, as you can see, the storm clouds there, and we get to fly up through the clouds, and that always looks great. So I'll let you enjoy that. Now with this flight, it always feels longer when you're coming back, from wherever your trip was, especially this. This was almost 11 hours, and I remember waking up at one point because they dropped off the little customs piece of paper. And usually they do that towards the end of the flight, in my experience. So I thought, all right, this is probably like 2 hours left in the flight. And then I look at the seat, where they have you can track the flight, and it was said 4.5 hours, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm stuck in here for another 4.5 hours. I'd already watched almost all the movies and all that, and I was just so restless. Just wanted to get off the plane. I was just so tired of sitting there doing nothing. But got through it eventually, and still in the end, very worth it. And then here we are flying into San Francisco, California, which actually I have never flown into this airport. I've flown out of this airport before, but I've never flown into it. So it's I've done this approach in the flight simulator, so it was nice to get to do it in real life. You fly really low over the water, and then you land like so. And this was pretty much the end of a great journey out there. So, like I said, I'll pin the video to the channel once it's released, and also make sure you check out the Just Flight YouTube channel and their Facebook and stuff to watch the video that I made. Like I said, it's not very long, but I think it came out very nice. I have a couple edits to make at the end of it, and then it'll be ready to go probably by tomorrow. So here we are about to touch down. Looks like a lot of planes were lining up to wait. About 5 or 6 I counted, 7, 8. I think keep going. A lot of traffic heading out. And there we go. A safe and successful trip complete. And time to get back into the simming. I haven't been in the simulator for probably about 2 weeks actually, so looking forward to getting back to that and getting content pushed out on the channel. But alright everybody, I want to thank you for watching this. I'm going to probably leave you here, and just look out for the Flight Sim 2017 video. It'll be coming at you soon. You guys take care. Thank you to everybody who I got to meet and was, came up to me and said hello. Really appreciate it. It was nice to meet all of you. But all right, everybody, you guys take care. I'll see you next time.